Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to another stripper vlog. Well, this is going to be a stripper workcation vacation vlog. I know you're probably wondering where I've been. I kind of made this channel, put out a lot of videos, and then just kind of went MIA for a couple weeks. But I just got back from the US Virgin Islands and I did work out there. And I really wanted to film for you guys, but the conditions and situations wasn't one that kind of permitted a lot of vlogging, which is why I'm doing a recap, but I'll get into that later on in the video. So I spent 2 weeks in the US Virgin Islands and I just got back last week Tuesday, so about 6 days ago, because today's Monday. And why did I decide to go out there? Basically, my friend, she had went out there in the summertime. She said it was really good and Vegas was kind of slow right now, so she was like, we should go, you should come with me the next time I go. And I left it at that. I didn't ask her much questions because, you know, that's my girl. I'm just gonna go with it. And I'm going to say that I didn't ask a lot of questions about anything regarding, you know, like the trip or the club or the situation. But let me see. So it's not like the mainland, where I'm calling the States the mainland. Like, I don't know, I grew up on islands my life, so we just call the mainland like the States. So it's not like the mainland where you can just show up to a club and audition, and if they like you, you're hired and you work. It's not like that. This island is very small and there's only one club on the island. So you do have to contact the club before you decide that you want to go out there, which is what I did. You know, she sent me her boss's contact and stuff, and I sent over my pictures, my Instagram handles, and we just like communicated back and forth on when I wanted to come and blah, 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 blah. So you do have to set it up like that. Now, it is a US territory, so if you are a US citizen, you can just travel with your ID or your passport. If you are coming from like somewhere international, just make sure that like your visas and everything is like checked out, because you don't want to be in a situation that you can't, you know, easily return to or whatever. But anyway, so that is the first step. So the situation is kind of set up in a way where you can either pay for your ticket there, which is what I did. I paid for my flight there, and then they paid for my returning flight. When I got there, some girls, they actually had their flight paid for them to get there, and then they paid for their way back. So I kind of, it just depends on where like, you know, the club owner is at, I guess. Normally they don't usually fly girls out there. They want the girls to fly out there and then pay for their way back, but whatever. Anyways, so that's the main thing. And as far as housing go, there's two options. So there is a dancer house that you can stay at for a significantly inexpensive price. I'm not going to say the price just in case if they increase their price or whatever, if anyone watches me. Actually, you know what, fuck it. I'm gonna say it. So I only spent $100 a week. So that's like $200 for 2 weeks. Now the state of the house, so that's option one. Option two is you can get a hotel or whatever. So in the beginning, my friend and I were like, okay, we'll just stay at the dancer house for 1 week, save some money. Then the second week, get a hotel, because she's already been there before. So she already knew the living situations, conditions, and all that. And she's a person that was really big on like having like her own, you know, bathroom and stuff or whatever, because it's all shared spaces. So that's pretty much the two options. Week one at the club, it was just really, really slow. So we decided to just stick it out and stay the whole 2 weeks at the dancer house. So I ended up spending $200, which if you've ever traveled dance before, you know, you can't beat that price anywhere. Now, the state of the house, it is a shared spaces. So it's a shared bedroom, shared bathroom, you know, shared kitchen. I've stayed at hostels before when I travel like internationally. I don't think I've stayed at any in the US, but I've stayed at some hostels. So I feel like I'm a pretty adaptable person. No matter what environment or condition, I can adapt easily and quickly. Now, some people, shared spaces, it's not for them, you know, which I completely understand. So those are the main things. There is transportation that is provided to you from the airport. Like, they'll pick you up and then to and from work. Now, the things that I didn't know that kind of threw me for a loop-de-loo. So I got there and you're pretty much required to work 6 days a week. The club is only open 6 days. It's closed on Mondays. So Mondays is like your one day off. Now, if you are a local girl, which means if you live on the island, you have 2 days off a week. Yeah, you can have 2 days off. I think after, I don't know, you can have 2 days off. That's all I know. Now, if you're like me where you're traveling and, I only stay for 2 weeks, I'm only getting those Mondays off. But if you stay longer than those 2 weeks, then you have 2 days off, whether you're local or traveling. So I met a few girls there that stayed a month or 3 weeks. So for some people, it's a nice situation. Like you're living on an island, the rent that you're paying is extremely inexpensive. You just got to work, put in those hours to work. A person like me, I've never in my entire years of working ever worked 6 days a week. So it was a challenge. Like I was waking up cranky, like annoyed, like, I don't want to do this, but you got to do what you got to do. And it made me realize that I actually can work 6 days a week because I've always wanted to do like a full week of working. But that experience really pushed me through my limits, through like being exhausted and tired. Because normally I need a day to like reset my mind, my energy, and to just take care of business. But it is what it is. Yeah. So as far as eating, I would say I spent a lot of money eating out. If I wanted to, I could have used the kitchen and cooked. But I feel like when the house is like full of people and girls and there are people there that's cooking like full on like meals, it's just like how my friend is particular about having her own bathroom, I'm very particular about like kitchen spaces and them being like clean or being a certain way. Like, I don't know, cooking is very therapeutic for me. So I like to take my time and like be in my zone or like listen to my music and, prep and do that. So it's kind of hard to get into that zone when it's like shared space and it's a house. I feel like hostels that I've stayed at are like giant and massive. So those shared spaces are usually a bit like, larger, or it's structured in a way that, I don't know, a lot of people can be in like one area and like move around without feeling like, oh my God. But anyways, I feel like I'm rambling about that. But the club was extremely slow, you guys, like extremely freaking slow, like so slow. I was like, I want to hurry up and get back to Vegas, even though Vegas is slow. But I'm a person that if I say I'm gonna do something, I'm gonna do it. And that was kind of the contract that I signed up for, is I gotta stick it out for those 2 weeks and work those 6 days. And my friend was also telling me that it was extremely slow for her too. Like when she first came to the island in the summertime, this was not it. So this is not the experience she was hyping up, which I told her like, it's fine. Like every place have their season. So would I go back again? Yes, I definitely would. I would make sure that I'm aware of when it's like the busy season, when there's a lot of like tourism, because it is a small island. Let me see what else. So pros and cons. I think that's like the major breakdown as far as the stripping part of this video is gonna go. Oh, okay. So the reason why I couldn't really vlog is, like I said, is all those shared spaces. So the lighting in the room that I was in was extremely dark. There was like one like lamp, one of the light bulbs kind of went out. So we just had this like lamp, and it's like me and my friend, trying to use it to do makeup and stuff. And even just doing your makeup, like it wasn't bright. So I was like, it doesn't make sense for me to try to do like a get ready with me and like chit chat. Then obviously the club, it's like the dressing room is a little bit small. So I can't really be in there and just like chit chat when there's a bunch of other girls in there and conversations, and a couple of them speak different languages and stuff like that. It was just too noisy to film, and I didn't want to have anyone in the background, and that caused like an issue or whatever. As far as what they speak there, it is a Caribbean island, and majority of the people there, like the locals, they have their Caribbean like dialect. But there are surprisingly like a lot of Spanish speaking people there. Like a lot of Puerto Ricans, a lot of Dominicans, Colombians. Like I was really shocked because I was not expecting that. The food, it was not it for me. I think I was going to this island with a certain expectation of cuisine because I'm Jamaican. So I was thinking, oh yes, I'm landing in another Caribbean island. Like, pass me the ackee, the breadfruit, the saltfish, all that stuff. But I forget that it is a U.S. territory. So it is very much Americanized, like Americanized. Like I didn't feel like I was anywhere like different. And I say that because like I lived in Hawaii, and even though Hawaii is part of the US, you go to Hawaii, Hawaii has its own culture and vibe and energy and like, you know, music, and just it has its different flow to it. Like you can be there and feel like you're not in like America, even though you are. Same thing with Puerto Rico. Like you go to Puerto Rico, Puerto Rico got its own, you know, its own sauce. It got its own food and music and flavor and energy. Like just different. Going there, especially being Caribbean, I just felt like I was in the States. Like I felt like I was in the mainland. So culturally, it wasn't hitting what it was supposed to hit for. I also went during like post-hurricane season. Well, yes, post-hurricane season, because the hurricane season was on its like very end. This is right after that giant hurricane just hit Florida last month. So it was still a little bit rainy and like slow, I guess, because of that. But on the bright side, on like the pros of this, like I said, I'm a person that I'm very adaptable. So I think after the first week of it being really slow in the club, I was like, I just have to treat this like a workation vacation. Like I really just have to get the most out of this experience. And it sucked because it's like you had to be at work by, you know, a certain time. So I didn't have much time to kind of like rest and do activities. But I would still wake up and go to the beach like every day, try to hit like different beaches. And then the past like few days remained like the last week was just so much fun because like legit like day one, my friend and I like we had that Monday off. We're like, okay, let's go out, let's get wild. Then the next day we're like, okay, have this activity planned. The next day, this activity, this activity, this activity. So I'm gonna insert and show you guys some of the activities that I did. It was really cool. I tried something for the first time. Like I'm not the greatest swimmer. Like when I'm far out, I get kind of like nervous and panicky. So I've always stayed in like, you know, the shallow end or just like my height. But this trip really challenged me. Like I went snorkeling for the first time. I swam with the turtles. I did this underwater like sea trek walk thing. It was really cool. Yeah, so it was a lot of fun. And I guess as far as like money wise for this trip, I will say there's not a single day that I went to the club and did not make money. Like I never went and I was never like in the negatives, you know, especially when you include how cheap the house rent was, the fact that transportation is provided to and from the club, even with the rent and your tip outs and all that. Like I never left in the negatives. I've always left with money, and I've made whatever I spend going there like back like times a ton. But I think just for me, like I was like, oh, it's kind of slow compared to what I'm used to. But you know, if you find yourself in a tight situation and you want to like, you know, duck off somewhere for a couple of weeks or a month or so, you know, stack up some money, be on an island, you know, cheap rent or whatever, it's not a bad situation. So that's all I have to say about that. But now for the fun part. I was driving and had to pull over to take in this scenery. Like, look how gorgeous this island looked, and that was the view on the way to the beach. This is me doing the underwater sea trek thing, and this was so freaking cool. This was the most exciting thing that I've done in a really long time. I'm a person that is not the best swimmer and afraid of the deep ocean, but look how cool this was. I also went snorkeling for the first time, and I went swimming with the turtles, and this is just so cute. And at this moment, I really got over my fears. I was far out in the deep ocean with a life vest on and everything. And I used to think life vests don't work. Like, I don't know why, but I got over my fear this trip. So it was really fun to do something new for the first time. Now look at this beautiful melanin chocolate coconut man. He even does massages on the beach. I didn't have enough time to go back and do one, but he's really freaking cool. I actually chit-chatted with him for a while, but do y'all see that melanin? Like, do y'all see that melanin?
Thank you.
Baby, if you follow me on IG, you know how I turn up. There's a pole studio on the island, so me and my friend took a class. And this man was just so funny to me. Like, I wish I could zoom in better because he was passed out with a rum bottle in his hand, and I had to take a little video of this iguana.
Oh my God, calm down.
I was living my life as a beach bum practically every day. This was the only video I really took at the club, and Monday was my night off, so linked up with a few of the strippers and we went out. Then another day, another beach, pretty much all I did every day. That brings us to the end of this vlog. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and comment and show my Instagram some love because I do post more things there that I can't show you guys on YouTube. I'll see you next video. Bye.